And welcome back. With the temperature getting cooler and the leaves starting to change, it is time to start looking forward to fall entertaining.
That's right. While cozy and festive are always in, this year it's all about non-traditional table decor.
Here with inspiration for your next dinner party is Director of Eatertainment, Sebastien Centner. Hey, Sebastian.
Hey guys, how are you? Here, have a seat.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
You're
thank
welcome.
you. All right, well, look at this spread. Where do we begin? Should we start with the table setting?
Let's start with the table setting.
Okay.
So what we're seeing this year, guys, and we're seeing tons of it at Eatertainment, is this kind of return to more rustic feels, things that have a little bit less of a stark nature and a little bit richer and a little bit fuller. So what we're starting with, obviously, is something like this, which were natural tabletops. We're not using linens like we usually would, covering the table. We're not using placemats. We're doing something like a runner. And we have these colors because this is Thanksgiving weekend and it's kind of a lead up to the beginning of the holiday season. So we want to start to see more of those winter colors and richer, but we don't want to go so far as to see too much that it feels too much like holiday or Christmas.
Okay.
This seems like a really nice accent too, and something that's a little more traditional, things that you can add in like wine glasses.
Absolutely. So what we're trying to do is use things with things like this, like that have gem tones in them. So like the blues, the rich blues, etc. Even using things like the coppered cutlery and adding pieces like instead of using white plateware, we used it for the bowl for the soup, but everywhere else we're using this pattern beige. So it just gives it a bit more richness, a little bit more texture. It's also very, very trendy for weddings this year, especially winter weddings.
Okay.
Okay. Let's start talking about the food.
Okay, so with the food, we've got a few things. First of all, it is Thanksgiving weekend like we talked about, but instead of going with the traditional, what we're doing is we're looking at things you can do throughout the winter months. But if you want to do something different this weekend as well for Thanksgiving, instead of doing a turkey that takes 4 hours in the oven, etc., we're giving you some alternatives. So first, starting out with our Peruvian blue potato soup. So this is a Peruvian blue potato. That gives it that nice purple color.
I would say this is non-traditional. It's a deep blue.
Exactly. It's neat because you know what? They taste exactly the same as normal potatoes. We add a little bit of cauliflower, but it adds that really great, beautiful color. And then what I'm going to do, just to mix up, so this is normal, like you would see it. But what I do is I just do a little bit of a sour cream here, and then I'm just going to do this to it.
Look at that.
There you go. And you're fully set.
It's that little touch, Jordan.
There you go. That's all it took.
Somehow I would find a way to mess that up.
No, you wouldn't. You would. I think you would do just great on it. And it's super easy to make. And the nice thing about this is that instead of serving a potato with the main course, we've now got it into the appetizer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Then we move on to the main course. So what we're doing, as I mentioned, instead of doing a traditional turkey, is we're doing actually a beef tenderloin. So if you have a beef tenderloin or a filet when you're at a steakhouse, this is the same idea, but you're asking for the full cut.
Right.
So in the oven, it's about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to medium rare. So it's much faster than turkey. Also takes a lot less room. We did it with green beans because we wanted to have something that sort of had some vegetable and some crispness to it. But then what we did was we actually did a salad as the accompaniment, so it didn't have to be served warm.
Okay.
So we're using a kale salad that's also got some beets in it. It's got some purple carrots.
Those deep colors again, it looks so fantastic.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? For this time of year, we find that it's richer, it's a little bit heartier, but it just matches kind of the feel that everyone's sort of getting indoors. Weather's cooling down. We want to warm things up. And of course, we're going to add some touches of the florals, some colors that also match that. We use 2 urns that are this nice gold color with lots of reds and greens and some really rich pops of color. And I even picked wines that I made sure had really bright labels that touched it on the cup. These are Spanish wines, but I made sure that they had that orange, that yellow as well. It had a pop of color.
Now I'm seeing some florals on the table. Do you want them to stay here, or is that supposed to go in?
Well, there's 2 options.
Okay.
They can stay on the table, but I'm going to actually get you to help me for a second. So what we've done here with the urn is we filled it with a little bit of the flour foam, and you can just poke those right in. There's no wrong way to do it.
Right. Okay.
And there you go.
Just like that. So pretty.
There you go. If ever you need to moonlight as a floral decorator, just give me a call.
Oh, thank you. The soup.
No problem.
No, that's lovely. Absolutely lovely.
So super easy to make. Again, everything that we're doing here, you can prepare ahead of time. If you're doing a seated dinner, it's great. But also, if your group goes to be more than 6 or 8 people, everything we've prepared here can also be done buffet style, which is great.
Amazing.
For more with Sebastien Centner, visit Eatertainment.com. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure. Happy Thanksgiving.
We'll be right back.